Well, what a fantastic day for two scintillating women's semi-finals. We're still up here overlooking court number 3. A magnificent day, beautiful sunshine. Let's get the thoughts of the legendary Craig O'Shaughnessy. Craig, first of all, what do you make of the semi-finals unknown package? Garbine Muguruza, I mean, never before beyond the quarter-finals. She's taken out some massive names, including the likes of Wozniacki. This is unknown territory for her, but it's turning out to be the tournament of her life.
Yeah, she's doing extremely well. She's had good results at lower levels, but never at this stage. And her stats coming into this semi-final are pretty amazing. One of the things on grass that I always go to first is rally length. And so there's a lot of players that do well in that 0 to 4 rally length, with 0 representing double faults. Somehow, she's made it to the semi-finals with a losing record. Wow. I mean, I look at that and I had to do a double take. She's won 141 points. She's lost 152. So that's almost impossible to get to the semis with that. Then you combine that she has a losing record on her own second serve. She's only won 46% of those points, and she has a losing record in baseline play. She's won 48% of those. You wonder how she's got here, but she's taken out some very big names. She's got an attacking game, and I think this is more a combination of winning the right points at the right time and not necessarily ticking every box on the stat sheet.
It's a great, great story. She's up against Agnieszka Radwanska, who I think's in her 3rd Wimbledon semi-final in 4 years, and she looks as though she's coming back to her best, and perhaps she wouldn't have fancied Muguruza because she's going to be the overwhelming favourite for that one, but with that comes a tag of pressure.
Yeah, it does. I really like her game. It's off pace. In today's game, everyone wants to hit the ball harder. Everybody wants to come at the opponent a little bit more, and she stays back a little bit more and says, you know what, I'm going to let you overhit. I'm going to let you beat yourself. And it takes a very good tennis brain to be able to pull that off and reach the semis here. Interestingly, she has an overwhelming winning record in those 0 through 4. She's won 247, lost 171. So that, we're already seeing a mismatch there. And a lot of times with Radwanska, we think she likes to extend the point. She has a losing record in those 9+ shot rallies, 130 and lost 36. But, very good from the baseline, is 153%. And to give you an idea, if you're at 55%, that's outstanding. So 53% is good. Even 50%. Andy Murray won the US Open with 50% at the baseline. So it's a solid number. She's come to the net 80 times, 153, so that's 66%. She just needs to turn up and do the same thing that got her this far, and that should be enough to get the job done.
But will she be conscious of the fact that they're 2 all in head-to-heads, and it's actually Garbine who's won their last 2 encounters?
Yeah, that will always play into an opponent's mind, but you can almost say, okay, I understand that, but it's a different story at Wimbledon, at SW19, and in the semi-finals. So I put a lot less weight in those last two losses, and say, you know what, it's a clean slate, it's a big stage. Let's see what you got here.
Right, talking about a big stage, this is going to be absolutely fascinating. Sharapova against Serena Williams. By the end of this tournament, Sharapova's up at world number 2, and yet for the 2 best players in the world, that is quite a one-sided record, 17-2. She hasn't beaten Serena since 2004. Why?
It's an incredible stat. For some weird reason, I was at that match. I was coaching in the juniors over here, and I stayed on and watched it and sat and watched that final and saw Maria through that tournament do extremely well. It didn't surprise me in 2004 that she won that. It's very surprising she's lost 16 straight against Serena. At the Australian Open final this year, that was the last time they played, I was at that match as well. It was, Maria has never played that well in a match and lost in her entire life. She played extremely well. And when she looked over the net at the opponent, it's like, okay, it's like double vision. I'm seeing 2. I'm seeing Serena, the player, but there's this other part. It's Serena, the serve. In that final, Serena hit 18 aces. Now, to put that in a little bit of perspective, she only hit 3 in the first set. She hit 15 aces in the second set.
Wow.
That's from another planet. Raonic was the ace leader in the men's side. The most he ever hit for the entire tournament was 11. So it just gives you some kind of idea is that, Serena may never serve that well again. And if it had been just a normal serve day, say 8 aces or 10 aces, I think Maria could have got through on that one.
But, I mean, it's not just that she hasn't beaten Serena. She hasn't taken a set off her in their last 5 meetings. And there is the hangover of a very, very one-sided Olympic final here, where Serena beat her 6-love, 6-1. What has Maria Sharapova got to A, believe in, and B, produce on the court to give herself a chance of turning round an overwhelming losing record against a player 2 matches away from a non-calendar slam?
Yeah, it's a very tall ask. One of the things is that Serena doesn't have to adjust to pretty much anyone. Now, Heather Watson did a great job defending, did a great job playing off pace. You know, we saw slice forehands, we saw deep balls, we saw some slower balls, but Maria can't do that. She historically has one speed and she hits it hard, and she doesn't traditionally go to, you know, a secondary game plan. So, you know, there's going to be 4 elements to this. There's going to be serving, returning, and there may be little bit of rallying, there may be a little bit of approaching. So I pulled up the serve locations for both players to see if we can get a bit of an idea coming in. In the deuce court, so far for the tournament, Serena's served 58 times out wide in the deuce, 39 down the tee. She really hits that well when she needs a point. Say at 40-15 or even a deuce, I expect a bigger serve down the middle. You know, she's very confident with that one, but she loves to just slice that out wide, open up the court, and then hammer that next shot. In the ad court, 44 down the middle and only 42 out wide, Serena's favourite spot to serve in the ad court is down the middle. So the first time you see a break point, look for that. It's her favourite spot. Now, remember, on match point, she served the ace in Australia out wide, but the only reason she was going out there is because Maria had shut down that middle one. So Maria's got to prove that she can shut the middle down, and then Serena will start going a little wider. Maria's serve patterns are very black and white. In the deuce court, 55 out wide, so she loves to slide it out there. It's good. It's a good idea against Serena. Serena has the best backhand return in the game. She'll spray the forehand a little bit more. So I really like that tactic. In the ad court, 68 down the middle, 34 out wide. So she gravitates to that. But, you know, all that matters for Maria is getting her first serve in. So far for the tournament, she's served 38 double faults. So that is, you know, it's such a monster hole in Sharapova's game.
She can't do that against Serena and get away with it.
She has no chance. You know, if I'll give her an under and over of 5. You know, if she serves 5 double faults, she may still be able to somehow win the match. But anything more than that, it's just going to be way too difficult of a task.
Okay, just finally, with those two in particular,
Yes.
they've both in slightly different ways done so much for women's tennis. Sharapova's glamorous. She's won 5 titles. She's won at each of the 4 slams. Serena, of course, we know all about that record already, up to 20 slams. How much of the rivalry between them comes down to a clash of egos? Because they can both rightly claim to have done a huge amount for women's sport and women's tennis. Will that be adding to the needle between them a little bit?
Well, and especially here, when Maria won that title, I think 17 or 18 years of age back in 2004, that really launched her as a player. It really launched her career in every single way possible. And basically since then, when they go on court, it almost feels like Serena doubles down against Maria and says, you know what, that's one you took from me, and I'm not going to give you any more. I'm going to make sure from here on out that I set the record straight. So it is a little bit personal between those two, probably more than other opponents, and certainly here at the home of tennis is where that all started.
Well, it's all teed up for a fantastic afternoon. Fingers crossed the weather holds. We have 4 superb athletes on centre stage, on centre court. Don't miss one single ball. This could turn out to be a great day for women's tennis.